Hello and welcome back to the Entertainment Vortex and our new episode of Pop Culture News, where of course we talk about all things Funko Pop from the last week or so. We're going to start off, as we always do, by what's available now. So these are things that we've talked about in past episodes that are available to pick up right now if you're interested. First on the list is going to be a Weird Al figure from the music video for Fat, which was hilarious. So it's him in his big outfit. It's exclusive to FYE, and if you were interested when we talked about it a few weeks back, it is available now. The next one, if you're a WWE fan, we've got a couple figures for the Young Bucks. It's going to be a 2-pack. If you're a fan of these wrestlers, I know they are really big right now, then I'm sure you're interested in picking these up. Available now. Now's the time to get it. Next up, we're going to talk about the announcements that were done in the last week or so. These, of course, are stuff that's coming out either now or in the future that we're just now learning about. First up on the list is going to be another pop from Coming to America. This one's actually available right now on the Funko shop, but it's the character Randy Watson. It's the one with the big haircut. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I remember loving this movie, though. It's hilarious. And I know that I'm probably not going to pick up the pops from these unless I see them out in the wild and I need to like fulfill like a 3 for $27 or something. I do know that these are going to be popular because this movie was hilarious, and any Eddie Murphy fan worth their salt will want to get every single one of these.
It's definitely a comedy hallmark, brings a lot of people together. As far as this one for me, it's not a movie that I watched until I was later in life, so it's not something that I'm super excited about going to grab. This movie, while it is still funny, it does lose a little bit of its luster now. I definitely know there will be people who are excited about this. I know a lot of people really love this movie. So next on the list, we're going to start talking about some more things that were announced previous to San Diego Comic-Con. These are going to be exclusives that will be available at the con, and then we'll find out later if any of those will get wider releases, exclusivity, anything like that. The first section on the list is going to be for animation. There are quite a few things that are being released from this segment. We're looking at some Bob's Burgers stuff. There's a pop of Tina riding a unicorn. I believe this is supposed to be from like a Daydream segment. Bob's Burgers is super funny. I really enjoy that show a lot. I think that a lot of people will really enjoy this pop. It looks super funny. There's going to be some more stuff from Rick and Morty. 2 Western pops, one of Rick and one of Morty. And there's also going to be a t-shirt and looks like an album combo for Goodbye Moon Men. The shirt looks absolutely amazing. I don't know how I feel about the album. I mean, it just depends on what's on it. The shirt I definitely want. And there's going to be some Hanna-Barbera pops. Some of that stuff is a little bit old, obviously a little bit older than my generation, so there's going to be some things in there that'll probably miss me. But then the next on the list is some Looney Tunes pops. We're getting some more exclusives that are, specific to actual storylines. I loved the Looney Tunes growing up. Those are definitely timeless cartoons for me. And then the last one on the list for animation is going to be He-Man. Once again, we've talked about He-Man previously on the show. It's not really something for me. It was just a little too far before my time as far as cartoons that are basically meant to sell toys are concerned. But I know that some of this stuff may interest you. How do you feel?
Oh, I know that the Rick and Morty pops definitely interest me. I definitely want to get those. I've got quite a few in my collection already. I wouldn't mind picking up some of the Hanna-Barbera ones. I am old enough for those. The Looney Tunes ones as well. I mean, this is a great lineup. While He-Man was my age group, I don't really have the same attachment to it now that I'm older than I did when I was younger. All of these I see a huge audience for, so I'm glad they're doing all these. Rick and Morty, Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, those are probably going to find their way into my collection. If I can find them locally, because as you know, SDCC pops are kind of hard to get, so we'll see which ones are the more rare ones. I know I missed out on a couple last year. So next up on the list is going to be some Disney pops. You knew they were coming. They're always there in the SDCC lineup, and there's quite a few. We've got a new Tamatoa from Moana, all shinied out, all glowing. Looks really cool. We've got Jack looking like Edna from one of the scenes in the movie. I'm not going to give too much away there, but it's a hilarious scene. We've got a 2-pack of the 2 Minions from Hercules. Super cool. Then we've got 8-Bit Wreck-It Ralph and Fix-It Felix from, of course, the Wreck-It Ralph movie. We've got Skeeter from Doug. And then we've got the one I'm most excited about, which is Mickey in his Organization 13 outfit from Kingdom Hearts. He's got his hood down. That one looks super cool. That's top of my list for SDCC stuff. I've got to find that one. Some of these other ones are cool too, though. The Hercules one, I was a huge fan of that movie. I wouldn't mind picking those up. Yeah, good stuff. Tamatoa looks amazing, all glowing and shiny like that too. How about yourself?
So I want pretty much all of these. I loved Wreck-It Ralph. Those ones are probably the lowest on my list. That may change some after Wreck-It Ralph 2 comes out. I'm really excited about that movie as well. The 8-bit style looks a little funky on them to me as compared to some of the other things they've done in the 8-bit style, but they're super cool. I potentially want to pick those up. Pain and Panic, I could probably probably do without. At this point, I haven't picked up any of the Hercules Pops. So if I start collecting those, maybe. I have a couple that I've had my eye on that I'd want to kind of start with, but those might be a good little end piece if I end up picking them up. Tomateo, I want that one for sure. I already have the regular one. This one is glow in the dark. It looks super awesome. Jack has Edna, definitely. Anything from Kingdom Hearts at this point, I'm just clamoring for the game. So I definitely have an attachment to those. I want to go and pick those up. All right, so next up on the list from San Diego Comic-Con, we have another television section that they're doing. I know that they only kind of barely touched on it a little bit for last week's episode. They're digging into some of that more now. So we have a whole new section of Stranger Things Pops. The one that we talked about in the previous week's episode from our rumor section, Dustin from the Snowball, it was just the prototype. That one is now fully realized. It's painted, it looks super cool. I really want that one. That one's going to be a Comic-Con exclusive. And then the other one is going to be a 2-pack of Billy and Mrs. Wheeler. Now those who have seen Stranger Things Season 2, not this guy, will definitely remember the scene that that this is based around. Super hilarious. It was a great part of the show, especially considering his character may be a little unsavory, but it was a really interesting moment from that show, and I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely pick this up in pop form. And then we also have Ron Swanson. He has in his cornrows with part of his mustache gone. Those who've seen the show will know what that's from. Friction. We have Josie from Riverdale. That's a show that it's missed me at this point, but I've heard a lot of really good things, so I may end up actually sitting down to watch it. I've heard before I thought it was more of like kind of a teen thing, but it seems like it's actually more of like a psychological thing. So I might end up actually sitting down to watch that, and that may change my opinions as to what I think it looks like from the outside. And then we have Olenna Tyrell from Game of Thrones. She is an excellent character from that show. I've enjoyed so many of her lines and so many of her sections from that show. And then we have a 2-pack from the 60s Green Hornet series of Green Hornet and Kato. These ones look super cool. They're probably gonna miss me. I didn't really care for the whole Green Hornet thing. It's an interesting concept. It didn't really work for me. How do you feel about all the television ones?
Actually, out of these, the only one I'm interested in is the Ron Swanson one, and the only reason I'm interested in that is my girlfriend is obsessed with that show, so I figure I can get that to add to her collection. But all the ones in this TV line this year aren't really for me, but that's okay, because there was enough on the other 2 lines to empty my wallet anyway, so I'm actually kind of relieved that there's nothing in here I'm looking forward to. But I know there's some super popular ones in here. The Stranger Things ones alone are going to be a huge clamoring for those, I know. So last up for the SDCC stuff is going to be from Harry Potter. It's going to be Headless Nick and Moaning Myrtle. They're going to be separate pieces, and they are translucent ghost forms. They're super cool looking. They're actually glow in the dark. And these I'm interested in, especially Headless Nick, being as my name is Nick. I like all characters named Nick. Super cool. Plus, it's John Cleese. You can't beat that. Plus, the Moaning Myrtle character is hilarious. And if you've been to Universal Studios and you've been to the Wizarding World area, you know that she is moaning in the bathrooms, which is hilarious, which just adds another layer of hilarity to her. So I definitely want to pick these 2 up. How about yourself?
Huge Harry Potter fan. I've been slowly but surely starting to build a collection of those Pops. I'm really excited about these ones. All right, so next up, back into the regular list, we have 2 that are coming out in July, well, 2 series. Both based around anime. We have Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I wasn't super into either of these shows. I liked the video game for Digimon and the card game for Yu-Gi-Oh! A little more than I liked the anime that was brought in with them. I felt like they tried to kind of capitalize on the whole Pokemon concept a little bit too much, where they took an anime and based it off of the video games and the card game, and it didn't work quite as well. But I definitely know that there are huge fans of both of these franchises. I might pick up because they have like the Dark Magician Female or Blue Eyes White Dragon. I might pick some of those up. Digimon, I know, like I said, it has a huge fan base, and I know that there's more to it if you dig in past the first couple seasons, and I just haven't gotten the time to do that.
I've always been more of a Pokemon guy than a Digimon guy, so I'm not really interested in the Digimon stuff, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm definitely interested. As someone that was younger that was volunteering at a local card shop, that was running tournaments, I really am into the card games in the TCG scene. While Yu-Gi-Oh! Wasn't a game that I mainly played, I was familiar enough with it and watched the show enough to be into these and wanted to pick these up. With that being said, I will probably pick up the entire run of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pieces, so stay tuned to our haul section in the future for that. But yeah, probably not the Digimon one. So coming up next is going to be some coming this summer for Dragon Ball Z. We've got a Mr. Roshi, we've got Bulma, we've got Chaozu and Tien, little Chaozu, normal size Tien. And we've also got a Gohan piece. So there's quite a few here. If you're a Dragon Ball Z collector, I can see you wanted to pick all these up. I want Roshi. That looks amazing. That's a great figure. The only thing I can see better is if he had like a magazine in his hands and he had like the blood coming out of his nose. But no, that is a great figure for Roshi. So I can see picking that one up. The rest I'm not too excited about, but that one I'm pretty pumped about.
I would personally like to do either the Gohan or the Tien and Chaozu. Tien is a very underrated character on that show, in my personal opinion. Yeah, the Tri-Beam, super cool move. Managed to hold off Cell for a little while with that one. It was a little, I mean, a little while in that show is like 3 episodes. So that's a pretty significant amount of time, okay? But I always loved the old trope of Chaozu self-destructing to try to save Tien. So good. And I love that they actually were able to recreate that pretty well in Dragon Ball FighterZ. So definitely a pop that I want to pick up. All right, so next up on the list, we have another huge wave coming of Overwatch pops. Now, these ones are coming in August. It has a huge section of some of the previously released ones as keychain forms. And on top of that, we've got more new skins and characters that from the game. Once again, Overwatch is one that I just haven't had the time to sink into, and now I feel like I'm a little bit too far behind the game. So how do you feel about these?
You know, I like Overwatch. I've played my fair share of it, but I haven't really bought any of the pops. I think I got one in a loot crate. I think I have a McCree, but I'm not really interested in picking up all the extra ones, especially since, man, if you're a fan of Overwatch, this is a hit to your wallet. There's a lot of figures here. So probably going to pass on these personally, but I do know why they're making them. It's super popular. Next up, we have one coming in August, and it is going to be MacGyver. If you're someone that's my age group, you know MacGyver. It is a fantastic show, still to this day. The idea of taking a paperclip and a rubber band and saving the world is hilarious, and fantastically awesome at the same time. So if I see this one, I will definitely pick this one up. How about yourself? Is this before your time?
A little bit. So this is a show that I watch with my dad on occasion because it usually came on in a 2-pack during the afternoon with MASH. Those were I ended up actually watching the entire series of MASH, and it's one of my favorites due to the nostalgia and that connection with my dad. MacGyver has a little special place in my heart. If I see it, I'll probably pick it up. It's not one I'm going to hunt down though. It's difficult to try to get a hold of each one of these separately, so having a 3-pack where you can get them all with the nice box and everything would definitely be something that would be enticing to someone who's trying to, you know, fill a character collection. So this might be something that I end up picking up, you know, depending on if I'm able to, like, you know, get my hands on it. I believe it's currently on pre-order now. I'm not certain where. It may be Amazon or some of the other sites like that. Typically, you can get stuff like that on like Capsule Corp or Entertainment Earth. They usually do the pre-orders pretty early as well. But my guess is this one doesn't say it's specifically exclusive to anywhere. So
yeah, Pop in a Box does them pretty early as well.
Yeah, you may end up getting a pretty wide release.
Yeah. I will probably pick this up because of Snape. Snape is amazing.
Yeah.
Snape is just amazing. The Dumbledore is pretty cool too, but Snape is amazing. Next up on the list is going to be a special one that's on pre-order now that's going to be for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And it's going to be the Blu-ray together with 2 pop keychains. We've seen this in the past with Kingsman as long as a couple other movies. Sadly, I don't pick these up because, well, 1, I didn't like this movie if you've seen our review. And 2, because they don't do it with the 4K version, and I buy 4K Blu-rays at this point. So if they did that, I would have got the Kingsman one, but they don't, just regular Blu-ray. But if you were a fan of this movie, I know I have a friend that's a huge fan of this movie, that you would probably want to pick this up. Cool keychain pops, but not for me. How about you?
Wasn't a fan of the movie either. Spoiler alert, if you want to check out our review, it is on this channel. It was posted earlier this week. Not something for me. I definitely love the concept, but it would be nice if they gave an option for 4K.
Next up, we're going to talk about rumors. These are things that are not quite confirmed yet, but we're having from some pretty good sources. So hopefully we'll have some confirmation in the next couple weeks. First thing we've got is a couple from Ant-Man and Wasp, the upcoming movie. It looks like it's Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, who of course are the original Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm assuming it's going to be from a flashback or something in the movie. I know they mentioned and showed a little bit in the first movie, but we will see when this movie comes out pretty soon, which I'm really excited about. I don't know if I'm going to pick these up. I want to see this movie before I find out if I'm really into this to dig for these, but definitely excited that they're getting a full line because the Marvel movies tend to be really good.
I would definitely be excited if I ran across these in the wild. My guess is that more than likely this will get confirmed. Probably a little bit close. I mean, because I think we're a week away from the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp. So my guess is probably a little closer to that because it might be something that maybe digs into a little bit of spoiler territory. So I guess we'll see. It doesn't look like anything over the top or ridiculous, so don't be afraid.
So next up on the list is going to be Stephanie. I've never watched Steven Universe, so I'm not exactly sure who this is, but it looks like it's a figure from Steven Universe. It's an image that's kind of someone holding it up, so we can't really tell if it's real or if it's a custom that someone made, but the rumor is that this is going to be an upcoming Steven Universe one. It's a pretty cool looking pop with the sword and the shield and everything, so if you're a fan of this series, I can see you being excited about this one. I've only watched the first episode, so I guess I don't fall into that category yet, at least. How about yourself?
I also have not watched a single episode of this show. I've been told that I should. I more than likely will. It's hard to keep up with all the content. This is from the Hot Topic Periscope call with one of their insiders, so in almost every situation I've seen, when she releases something, it's usually proven very quickly after. So I imagine this will become a thing, but I'll be more inclined once we see, you know, a box and all of that good stuff.
So next up on the list is going to be a rumor from New York Comic Con. So we're getting way out in advance here. I mean, we're currently doing SDCC. I guess NYCC is next, but it's going to be Spider-Woman. If you're someone that's a big Spider-Verse fan, this is going to be a big one for you. I know the new movie coming out. It's got me pumped and really excited about that universe, even though I'm usually a DC guy. So with that being said, this is pretty cool. How about yourself? I know you're a bigger Spider-Man fan than I am.
If this ends up being a thing, I will definitely be excited about it. Currently, we don't have any images at this point, but I'm really excited to see if it becomes a thing. The more Spider-Man things I can get, the better.
Next up on the list is going to be a very unique rumor. So JB came across a pre-order list with prices listed in Cuban pesos. So I don't know how accurate this is going to be, but there is stuff on this list that we've talked about before. So it could be just a company not being very secure with their info. So we're going to show all these on screen here. We're not going to go through every one. If you're interested, go ahead and pause the video, take a look. There's no pictures, but there is quite a bit of text. So everything from television shows to movies to video games, there's just lots and lots here to digest. So take a look if you're interested, and we'll come to see which one of these are true. So as always, every single week we want to end the episode with our haul. So these are the things that we personally picked up over the last week. And I know the last few weeks have been a little boring when it comes to hauls, but this week is not one of those weeks. I finally got the one I've been eyeballing, and I could not be happier with this. It is amazing. I got Deadpool and Cable. It's like a movie moment, but it's from the comic books. So awesome. Just take a look at it on the screen there. I could not be happier that I got a hold of this. I thought I was going to miss it because I didn't have the cash, but I was able to pick it up. Plus, I've got hot cash on deck for Hot Topic. So coming up in a couple weeks here, it'll start, and I will have more for our future hauls. How about yourself? Did you pick anything up?
So I did a little mini splurge last week. I didn't end up picking up anything this week. Payday is coming, so hopefully more things will get purchased. I definitely have some things I've been eyeing, so tune in.
And as always, we want to know what you picked up. Not enough people let us know down in the comment section if you picked up anything this last week. What did you get? Celebrate with us. That's half the fun of this collection, is talking about what you got new and showing it off. So let us know. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We give you multiple videos every single week. And we have t-shirts available if you're interested in those as well. Those are available down in the description below. We hope you'll follow us into the Vortex. We'll see you next time.